Hello everyone, this is Robert again coming at you with another video. Well, today's video, I want to try something. Now, I never really saw this on YouTube, so if you see here, there's this big white pine branch that fell off the tree. I mean, way up there. I mean, those new branches are pretty up there, pretty far up there. So, what I'm thinking of, I'm gonna cut off all these little branches because they're like it's too small for what I want to do with it. But I want this part right here, and maybe down there a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna cut this outer bark, and I'm gonna like strip the outer bark off. Then I'm gonna get to the inner cambium layer. Because this is still pretty fresh, so it's probably going to be really sticky in here. Like, the pine resin is still going to be fresh in here. So the way I'm going to do it is, I have this big can of beans, empty. I'm going to put water in here. Then I'm going to take this 10.5 ounce Campbell's soup can, and this fits, and it still has plenty of room. So I'm gonna have water in here, and then I'm gonna strip the cambium layer off of this tree, this big branch. I'm gonna put the cambium strips in this can, put it in here, and use this can as a double boiler. So maybe it'll like heat up this can enough to like liquefy the resin out of the cambium strips that I'm gonna make. I mean, I want to try it. I mean, I thought of it. I was like, that seemed like a pretty good idea to get some nice, pure, fresh, untouched pine resin from the pine tree or a pine branch. So I'm going to process this and get a good piece off of here. Then I'm going to drag it down to my camp. So I'll see you at my camp with this branch. Okay, well, I'm at my camp. I decided just to process that branch over there. So I have these two tin cans. This one's a little bit filled, but this one's like 3/4 filled somewhat. So I have my can, I have my cambium pine bark, and I have some Ziploc bags. I just had the Ziploc bags with me, and I filled them in that some big puddle in the middle of the trail, the road or whatever. I mean, it was pretty deep. I mean, so I filled up a few bags. So I'm gonna put the water in this big can. Oh, I'm gonna have to take the label off. I'll use it to start the fire. And then I'll get the fire going. Okay, so I'm getting ready to start on my fire. Now, a couple of my subscribers was wondering how much fat wood I got from those 3 branches that I cut off from that pine tree. Well, I got all this. Then last week I went back to that pine tree and cut 3 more good sized branches. So I have the amount of this size or a little bit more in that second trip. Now I had this little cardboard tube that I don't know if you can see in there, but this is all fat wood in here. So it's probably this much fat wood in here. So I'm gonna get this fire going. Now I'm gonna put this can inside the fire. Start to boil its water. Now I'm gonna have to wash this, make sure the flames don't get too high. Now I don't want the flames to jump into the smaller can and burn up the or that pine bark. Well, I'll let this go for a bit, keep an eye on it. Then when I see the water starting to boil, or boiling, I'll try to get a view inside so you can see the water boiling. Okay, it's been a few minutes. I mean, not that long. I think you can see the water boiling in there. Moving the can around. Don't want to keep my phone there too long because it's hot. I don't know if you can see all the resin on the pine bark. Well, I'll let that boil, and if I have to add more water, I have my bag of water right there. I have some more over there held up. Keep an eye on this, and hopefully it turns out the way I want it to. Okay, well, I added some more water. Boiling nicely. I decided to put this other can right next to it. See if it'll heat up, like right at the flame, well, right in the fire. See what that one does. But it's been about an hour. I'll just let this fire die down. Let the water finish boiling, like stop boiling. And I'll see what we have in here. I don't know if there's anything gonna be in there, but yeah, it's just something to try out. Come back to you when that fire is out and the water stopped boiling. Okay, so I doubt there's anything in there. I mean, nah. Just kind of cooked it. Well, there's nothing in there. Made it all black inside. What about this one? Nah. Nope. Okay, well, since that double boiler didn't work, like today I'm in the back of the woods in the back of my work, and since this is a secluded area kinda, people are always throwing trash around. They're always throwing trash in the back here. So, luckily for me, someone threw out an empty paint can. Now, it does still have some paint in it, a little bit, but it's not that bad. So I'm gonna clean this up. It's gonna be nice and sealed. I'll clean this up, poke a hole in the middle, and bring this to the woods where my camp is, and I can use this for making birch bark oil or pine oil. Because I've been watching on YouTube on how to make pine oil, and it's just like making birch bark oil. You have to have a sealed container and have the fire all around it to cook it. So I'll clean this up, get it to my camp, and I have this for when I want to get all that birch bark, make some birch bark oil, and when I start chopping up that big pine tree, try to get a lot of pieces of fat wood from the middle of that pine tree, and try to make some pine oil. Well, this one is the one I put directly in the flame. That's why it's all black inside. This one was tried to do the double boil, but I mean, it did kind of char some of it, or like, or cook it or something, I don't know. But I don't know, maybe I didn't have it in long enough, or maybe I need to do this like making birch tar or birch oil. Like put it in a closed container and have it in the flame directly with a tightly closed container, and try to get all the resin out of it. But well, this can is pretty black for the double boiler. Well, that's it for this little experiment. Trying to double boil pine resin out of the pine cambium layer, or the pine branch. Well, that didn't work as I hoped, or as I wanted it to, but and that's why I'm out here. That's why I'm out here practicing on these little experiments, seeing what you can do to extract pine resin out of the pine tree if you don't have if no pine sap is like oozing out of the tree from a wound. Well, one good thing with the other fallen pine tree, I have a lot of fat wood. Now I have this fat wood with me today. Then at home, I have another bundle, pretty much like this much, at home still. So, and there's still, I still want to try to get some more fat wood if I ever need it. Maybe directly right from the tree trunk itself. But I have plenty of fat wood for now. And it was very easy to get a fire going for me, so that was a good plus. Well, if you want to figure out a way to extract pine resin right out of the cambium layer of the pine branch or pine tree, like if you have a fallen branch or something, if you want to try this experiment, probably try it with the way you would do birch bark oil, and practice all different ways on trying to extract resin out of the tree bark, and practice on your fire making, practice on looking for fat wood and processing fat wood, so it'll be easier to get a fire going. Keep practicing on your shelter building, and keep practicing on all other forms of bushcraft, because practice is the key to survival. And get out in the woods and experiment, do different things, and enjoy the nice weather. And I would like to also say again, stay safe and be well out there. And hopefully all this COVID-19 is gonna go away very fast, and everyone will be able to get out in the woods and enjoy nature. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on my next video. This is Robert. Thank you for watching.